Hi, welcome to this week's episode of my Speedpaints. Episode is still not the right word, but I'm gonna keep using it. So, today is actually a speed paint of the different versions of my character Halex over the years. If you are not new to kind of my brand, you'll know who he is. He's one of my oldest characters that I've had since probably at least 2008, if not 2007. He's gone through a lot of design changes over the years until about probably 2011 or so. He's my baby. So Halex actually started as a Kingdom Hearts self-insert. It was just a play on my birth name with the X included because he was a nobody. So that's how that works. You mix up all the letters and put an X in there, and that's not exactly what we did, but you know what, it worked out. That's still his name today. That hasn't changed. But he started out as a self-insert and then kind of evolved from there. He went through a lot of different iterations. Some of my friends could tell you some of those iterations were not great development-wise. But, I was in high school and middle school, and it is what it is. That's just kind of how it goes when you're that age. But, at some point he evolved, and I decided to create my own story for him, and that ended up with Simply Me, which was originally going to be more of a high adventure, and then turned into the brothers on a road trip looking for their dad kind of thing. So, yeah, you know how it goes. Now, the other thing with Halex is that he actually started out as a girl, because I was in 7th grade, maybe 8th grade, and didn't know I was trans at that point, and a lot of my OCs were girls because they were a lot of self-inserts. So the earliest iteration was actually, I was really into Lucky Star at the time, so a lot of his design elements were based off of Konata from Lucky Star. Like the long hair, the ahoge, the way I drew his eye shape, that was all based on Konata from Lucky Star. And then I kind of veered away from that for a little bit, after developing him some more with one of my friends at the time, and went to the black and white hair, which you'll see that's the second iteration, and you'll see that when I color it. His color scheme has basically always been black, white, and red, except for the short amount of time where his eyes were purple, because that's what I thought was cool back then. I still think it's cool. That hasn't changed. I don't have a lot of OCs with purple eyes anymore, though. His hair has usually stayed silver, except for the one iteration, and he's basically always had the same personality. He's been kind of the mischievous little brother type, so that hasn't changed either. But the second iteration was done to match my friend who had made, like I said, he was a self-insert for Kingdom Hearts. He was a nobody, so it was to match the somebody. So they were essentially the same design with a couple differences, and their color schemes flipped. I think his somebody had shorter hair, actually, or maybe her hair was more wavy. I don't know. It's been a long time. I actually don't have any pictures from that point. I either threw them away, or they're hiding somewhere in my parents' house. I don't know. Or they're on my original DeviantArt, which I have no idea what that was. so I cannot find this original design. The third one, there's only one picture that's evidence of that, and that was gift art from Thisto in, I think it was 2010. I want to say it was 2010. I'm not 100% sure. There's no date on the picture as a traditional piece. It might still be on their old DeviantArt, but I don't know. Probably not at this point, rather. So there's no evidence of the existence of these two middle designs except my memories of them, because I remember them. I don't remember the outfits completely. The third one, there was full body shots in. The gift art I got from Thisto, so that's the only reason I have that full body shot, but it's a pretty basic design, so it's not like that's anything hard to remember. But the second design, I actually didn't remember a lot of the elements to it. The boots, for example, I just kind of made up based on how I draw his boots now. I don't know if he had boots at that point or if he wore like flats. I have no idea what kind of shoes he wore back then, so we're gonna leave it at that. But going back to his third iteration, I was actually really, you can tell what shows I was into based on my character designs. I was really into Ranma 1/2 when I did this third design, and this is actually where Halex came from too, who's an OC who actually has his own story as well. But he was originally, it was a Ranma 1/2 get doused with water type bullshit. That you know what, it wasn't good, and it wasn't creative, but you know what, I was having a good time with it, and I'm sure Thisto was very, very tired of me just making things up as I went along. But so that third iteration is where Halex came from, and eventually they split off into their own characters. They each have their own separate stories. They are not connected in any way anymore. Their designs are wildly different now. But yeah, that's my kid. He's a good boy, just he's a baby. His age has wildly changed too, actually. I want to say the oldest he's ever been was 17, and then he's been, I say wildly different, he's been around that 14 to 17 age mark pretty much his entire existence. In Simply Me, he is 14. I don't know why that was the age I settled on. Maybe that's because that's not around the age I was when I designed him, but around the age I was when his design really kind of not settled, but what am I trying to say? Okay, so it would have been 2009 when I was 14, and that's when I was really, really into role-playing with him, so that would make sense as to his age. So that was, I tend to make characters who are around my age, because that's what I know, that's how I know, I know how they act a lot easier. But yeah, no, I used to bullshit a lot with Halex's power set. His power set as a Kingdom Hearts OC changed drastically, either because characters already had the kind of power set I wanted for him in the Kingdom Hearts franchise, or I just ended up deciding, no, I want to try something different, I'm going to give him this power instead, and now he just is a magic boy, and that's it. He used to have guns at one point. He sure did have those, and those were those were actually around for a long time, but those were taken away, because I decided, well, he's not going to do a lot of fighting in his actual story, he doesn't need a weapon, he just uses magic. But yeah, that's my boy. I might do another one of these for my character Rinna, and I might do one of these for Halex, because they've both gone through some design changes too. I might do one for Yen, but yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed that, listening to me talk about my boy. You know, sometimes characters go through drastic design changes. Sometimes you go 9 years without changing a single thing in his design. So I hope you guys stay tuned for the next video. Bye!